everyone, this is Nikki K and welcome to another episode where today, guys, I am bringing you the Leo full moon, which is happening on the 16th of February 2022. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be talking about the energies, then I'll be talking about the tarot cards that represent the full moon. I've got some notes here as well. And also, I'm going to be talking about essential oils that you could use as well, what I personally use. And also, I've put like a tarot spread for this full moon in Leo as well. So you're in for a bit of a treat. So let's get to it. So this full moon, we have a full moon in Leo on the 16th. And, you know, all the fixed signs will definitely be affected. So if you're Taurus, Leo, Aquarius and Scorpios, this will definitely affect you, okay? And this full moon in Leo, Aries, it's actually an Aries degree. It's one of the reasons why I was saying Aries. So it's an Aries degree, and on this full moon, this is going to be pretty explosive. And it's a time that, you know, of showing pride, having optimism, and also willing to shine. Whenever, you know, Leo and Aquarius get together, because they oppose each other 6 months of the year. So whenever they get together, it's a meeting of like the mind, of the heart and the mind. Leo is about give, and Aquarius is about thinking loud. It's very cool, very detached. And they both are definitely about bringing people together, but in a different way. You know, Aquarius is through actions. It's also through communication, humanitarianism. Leo is through like shared creativity, fun, passion, and also creating for fun as well. You know, this full moon, it has a crazy energy because there are squares to this new full moon. It's squaring the nodes that's just come in Taurus and Scorpio, which can be very much a challenging time in what we need to, and also basically what we need to bring into this life and what we definitely need to release. And during this full moon, the releasing can create a lot of blocks, and it also can create a lot of challenges, as well as stubbornness, because remember, these are all fixed signs. So it's about stubbornness as well, where and also where our destiny lies, and what we're and also there are going to be some questions about how we're trying to control the outcome. Whenever, because we visit this full moon every year. Sometimes it's mostly like in February. So when we visit this full moon in Leo every year, there is a spark, and it's also definitely like an emotional shift in our attitudes and also our physical body. So there is obviously, because this is Leo, there is a need to be seen. There is also an inner light that is just waiting to be brought through. The inner light is also waiting to shine as well. So, you know, Leo, I liken it to like the Leo moon. I liken the Leo moon to like the inner king and also the inner queen, which is, you know, the moon is definitely, because it's quite grand. So emotionally, it's going to be like, I'm the king and I'm the queen. And this full moon is also going to show us when, you know, how we can let go of like any darker aspects of like Leo, in terms of, you know, like ego, narcissism, you know, wanting to always be seen, because there's nothing wrong with being seen, but it's how you want to be seen. And also know when to shine, but also know when to hide. But this can definitely depend on like our actions as well. And also, you know, we have the Aquarian energy because it's opposing it. So the Aquarian energy is going to be sort of like mellowing it to a point as well, because the sun is stronger at the time because it's in Aquarius. So however we're going to be shining, Aquarius sun is going to be shining it more on society than actual the self and also the ego. This full moon in Leo can also feel very karmatic. I feel that it actually will feel like a definite karmatic time in terms of like our destiny, and it will test a lot of things. So other things that I've thought about as well for this full moon is daring to change course, humble when we are, being humble, patience as well when we're going through like our fears and also our traumas, sitting with ourselves for the emotions to come in, and also when the emotions are ready to be released, and not trying to control when things should come and when they should go, and reminding ourselves about, remember Leo's a very creative sign, so the Leo full moon is also about reminding ourselves about our passions, creativity, and also not forgetting our enthusiasm for life, and releasing like the old of what we know that we're also comfortable in, and ready for the new to come in. Because because there can be some energy with this full moon that we are going to be very stagnated, because this is what works. Leo moons, in general, they're very childlike. They have very much a childlike energy, which is actually long lasting. It's very hard to diminish this energy, no matter what. And this time, and also, whatever you're going through, Leos also have very much like a positive outlook and a positive enthusiasm for life. So this time is definitely about listening to our heart, because Leo is ruled by like the heart. The main thing is the heart, and also like the spine as well. So we can do this by doing, like chakra cleansing work, and also, chakra cleansing work like by like closing our eyes and just like envisioning the color green. You can also go on like YouTube to do some like chakra clearing work, because this time, because of the square to the nodes, we can think and we can also believe that this is like, our destiny. This is what we need to be doing now, and to hell with the rest. But then there's going to be an ease, there's going to be a huge shift in what is supposed to be and what is not supposed to be. So it's going to be very much like a tug. So when we connect to like our heart space and sit with it, closing our eyes, whether you're meditating or doing chakra work, your heart will tell you that your heart is like your dreams. It will actually guide and tell you, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to release, because the heart is very powerful as much as the mind as well. So those are the themes those are the little like notes that I have on this Leo full moon. And when it comes to like the tarot cards, we have, because it's a 16, it's the Tower card. And the Tower card is about, especially during this time, we're going to see a lot of breaking down of old systems that we have within ourselves. And also we're going to be seeking new breakthroughs and finding like a definite inner strength to move forward. It's also definitely a fiery time. So a lot of things could really happen suddenly. Whenever the Tower card comes into play, whether you're pulling it out randomly or it's for anything to do with like what's happening within the planet, it's always a shock to the system, because we could be really resisting, but something in life can make things just go very dramatic. And when it is dramatic, there still can be this huge pull of I'm not ready yet. But whenever it happens, we can know that actually, even though I wasn't ready, it was supposed to happen. And it can also feel like it's creeping up on us. So a lot of us during this time can actually feel there's this creep of change happening. Full moons are about releasing energies that we no longer need. Something we did 6 months ago, and something that is no longer needed 6 months later. So that's why the one, also because this is the 16th of February, it's the 16 which is in the tarot. We also have the Chariot card for this. The Chariot card is number 7, which 6 add 1 equals 7. So this is showing us about finding that inner strength and being determined to move forward. And this is also a time to channel our emotions in a very sensitive but also a very disciplined way. And we are also recovering from the shock of what the Tarot card has brought us. And it's time to really do like the inner work. This card is saying for ourselves, but also it could also be for mankind too. It's about us finding inner peace. The Chariot is also asking that we, is also asking us that any like bad emotions that come up, we have to know how to handle it. Instead of being over emotional, or it can be over manipulation, because this is something that we want it now. We have to see outside the box and see things for what they are and how we can handle it in a completely different way. Because the Chariot card is also about traveling. So our emotions could be traveling. But this is a Cancer card. The first card was Aries, and now this is Cancer. And this is like the stronger card for Cancer. This is like the outer shell of Cancer. So whatever we're going to be going through with the Tower during this full moon, the Chariot is also going to be our guiding star. It's also going to be our guiding spirit as well. And I'm going to be doing the full moon Leo spread, which is just 4 cards. Okay, do some 4 cards. So the first message or the first question that we have for this Leo full moon is first message for this Leo is what is my most powerful inner strength? And the first card that we have for that is the Page of Wands. And it's also a fire card as well, the Page of. Whenever we see like pages happen, they're also giving us strength, but they're also giving us quick guidance, quick energy, quick releasing that we're going to be needing. Now, the Page of Wands message for this question is what is my most powerful inner strength during this Leo full moon is about youthful energy, youthful. There's going to be some messages that are going to be coming through as well, but there also can be some delays. This is one of the reasons why because this card is actually reversed. I was supposed to say the card is reversed, and the Page of Wands is, like I said, it is going to be bringing us a youthfulness, but it's also going to be showing us that any delays that will happen during this new moon, we're going to have to find that sort of like that inner kid within ourselves. Because with children, they are very fearless. So if anything happens, yes, they can throw a tantrum, but then they always move on to the next thing. So the Page of Wands is showing us we're going to have to go into that youthful spirit of, if things don't work out in the way that we have controlled or the way that we have planned, we're going to have to find a way to move on like the Page of Wands, because there's going to be things that we have put into play. There's things that we're going to be expecting, but it's not going to go the way we envision. And that's one of the reasons why it's so pivotal with that Tower card, because there's going to be a broken down of structures, but also broken down of systems that we've built up. And we're going to have to be seeking like within our hearts, but seeking that youthfulness of knowing that, okay, that's it, I'll just move on. But also not saying that we have to just move on and forget about it. Work with what's going on, then knowing when to move on. And even if it does take days, or even if it does take 2 weeks for it to happen, that's what we need to do. That's what we actually need to do, because we can get very resentful if something hasn't gone to plan. We can get very, frustrated, very fiery. It can be very explosive. There can be lots of arguments. So as long as we remember, okay, let me just work through this. Let me get back to my youthfulness. Let me get back to that young me. And I know this has happened. I'm going to work through this because tomorrow is a new day. So the Page of Wands was the first one. The second question that we have is, how can I step into the spotlight during this Leo full moon? And the card that we have is the Devil. And the Devil card is reversed. A lot of reverse cards going on. Okay. So the Devil card, how can I step into the spotlight, is by not chaining ourselves to an old way. Because there's going to be a lot, because any moon, regardless of what happens, what the planet messages are saying, there's always a new time to release in, but also opportunities do come. When opportunities do arise, we can be very affected by what's going on, be affected by all these opportunities, and it could be greed. It can also be, this is mine. This is what I am. This is what's expected of me, but this is what I command. So we have to show a different way. So it says, how can I step into the spotlight? It's by being selfless. It's by letting go. It's by not believing our own hype as well. Because there's nothing wrong with believing your own hype. It depends how far you take it. It's not by living in the past. It's by knowing that things do change, and I'm actually working on peeling my old layers to have a new layer. Whenever the Devil card comes, it always makes you stop and think, okay. And because it's reversed as well, there's this resistance to it. So we can't resist the demons that are resurfacing. We have to work with them in order for us to have that spotlight, in order for us to have what we want in life. We have to be very honest and sit with our selves that are very, like the shadow work, the shadow selves. And it's funny because, with the Tower card, whenever we see the Tower, like I said, then we have the Devil, because they more or less sort of come into, because the Devil card is before the Tower, the Devil card before the Tower card. So we have to acknowledge that side of ourselves, because there can be, the shadow side of Leo is being trapped in what you used to do in the past that you, in your mind, in your ego, believed worked. And it probably did work then, but now it's not going to work now. So, and any problems that do come up, we have to fix it in a different way. Because it can, I am feeling like a course of reverting back to how you used to dress, how you used to shine, how you used to, and now things are just very fresh. They're very different. Remember, the nodes are here. The nodes are showing a new destiny. Okay. We come to the third question is, what are my best attributes for this full moon in Leo? And it's the 5 of Wands reversed. Now the 5 of Wands is actually a Leo card. Okay, you can't pull out Leo without having a Leo card. It's actually a Saturn in Leo, and the 5 of Wands is, as we all know, is about competition. We've actually left a 5 of Wands last year, so it's about, what our best attributes are. Is that we can look at ourselves and know that when change happens, we have to work through it, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, regardless if we have to go through so many hoops, so many battles, so many, if people are really picking on us in any way, if you find that people really want to compete. Also, patience. Because this card, even though it is reversed, it's very cutthroat. This is about competition. And also knowing that you can rise to the competition, and you don't rise to the bait. So someone's egging us on during this full moon, and we know that they're trying to get something out of us. We're not going to go there. And also knowing that if anything else does arise, the best attribute is not only just patience, is that I can actually talk through, I can actually show my emotions, show that I'm upset in a way instead of being very fiery and aggressive, and also showing that I have got a heart, even though if I do appear that I'm this glamorous being, I look like I'm a show off, and I'm actually showing you that I'm actually human. I've got a big heart, I am very generous, and that I can back down when needed. Even though inside it may grate me, I can back down, because not everything in life is a competition. Also, that I don't have to compete with I don't always have to compete with people. Sometimes I am my own competition, but I have to realize that I need to rest as well. I also need to, I also listen to my heart a lot. If people are doing, if everyone's doing the same thing, I don't need to jump in, so I know when to compete and I know when not to compete. Okay, so the best attribute is having that balance of knowing when to go there, knowing when not to. And then the last message we have is, how can I step outside my comfort zone during this full moon in Leo? And the card we have is the Four of Wands. Fiery cards, guys, fiery cards. So the Four of Wands is a Venus in Aries card, okay? And it's a very positive time. When it says, how can I step outside my comfort zone, is that when we're working a lot, once I've worked through a lot of the challenges, the positives, the stresses and strains, my ego, my enthusiasm, because I've worked through all of it, I can now have that time of, when I step outside my comfort zone, I will get a lot of benefits. I will reap these rewards. And it's because I've worked by listening to my heart. And now I can relax. Now I can celebrate. Because whenever you see like these cards, like, the Four of Wands, it means that things are going to be more in harmony now. The number 4 is about, working hard. It's also to do with, because my mind actually, guys, is just going back to 2020 when we were in a 4 year, and it was quite hard. And it was very hard, the number 4, because it was a shock to everyone. And the number 4 is about foundations. So it's a time of having a solid foundation, guys. When it says, how can I step outside my comfort zone, is working on my solid foundations, because this not only will it create, stability and peace that I need in my life. It's about accomplishments as well. So stepping outside your comfort zone during this time with the Four of Wands is because you've found peace, you've found harmony. You've not run away from anything that you deemed, boring or impossible or not fun. You've actually put the work in, and now you can celebrate. Don't have to celebrate with people. You can celebrate with yourself. You've come over like many hurdles to get to this point. And this is going to be new to some of us. because usually we are used to, oh, don't bother, just do that, do this, do that. I can't be bothered to work on it. But now we've actually worked on it, and now we've stepped outside of our comfort zone. Okay, I'm going to actually try this. So there's no wonder in the end that we're going to be celebrating our how we were in the past and how we are now. So that was the 4 cards tarot spread for the Leo full moon. And the last thing that I'm going to be talking about is the essential oils. Now, disclaimer, of course, these essential, as you guys know, I personally always use essential oils because they're so calming, they're so grounding, and I use it in a roller bottle. I actually got it from a lady called Dr. Marisa Snyder. She's got books on Amazon, and she also has an Instagram page as well. She's very good. And the first book I actually got was a Smart Mum's Guide to Essential Oils. And she breaks down what essential oils means. And then she also has like essential oils that you can use for, daily for your children as well. She's also a mum as well. So that was like the first book I got. And I actually discovered her on YouTube because she was talking about hormones. And some of you, regardless of where you are, as women get to a certain age, like 30, especially over 30, it could be younger, but especially 30, your hormones change. Like women's bodies, 1 minute they look a certain way, and when they reach 30, it's just like completely. So I use it definitely like for hormonal balance as well. And it's also good for, other things as well. So also disclaimer, check with your health practitioner, because I'm not a health doctor or anything. I'm just telling you these essential oils that I personally like to use. I tested them on myself, and, touch wood, it's been great for me so far. So obviously check with your health practitioner. Check with your doctor before you try anything new, especially essential oil, because they don't agree with everyone. So, and I've been fishing around what oils that you could use. And as you guys know as well, if you've been listening to me for a while, I love to use lavender. Lavender is king. Lavender's queen. I love lavender. So I even sometimes drink lavender tea, because you can get lavender tea, guys. So yeah. So essential oils that you can use during the full moon in Leo is frankincense. Now, frankincense is very grounding. It's actually really good when you are doing, meditation. It's really good for concentration. Also, I feel that, and I think Leos will really love this, that lavender is king of the essential oils as well. It's also really great to, get you grounded, because of like what's happening with like the nodes they're all shouting at each other. It can make us quite very, angst to a point, and it may not make us feel that we're concentrating on like the end goal. The other oil I love, that I use actually more or less every day, is geranium. And it's really great for it's very sensual. It's quite flowery, but it's very sensual. It's also emotionally balancing, and it makes you feel extremely positive. It helps reduce anxiety. It also helps reduce tension, fatigue. It balances the hormones as well. And it's also really great for concentration on creative endeavors. Which, because Leo, even though Leo is a sign that is very positive, the archetype of Leo is anxiety. They have a lot of anxiety because they want things done now. And also, with the excitement that comes, I'm going to do this goal and that goal, it can just be a bit all over the place. Okay, so these oils are very grounding for it. It makes you just stick to one thing, concentrate, then you can move on to the next. The other oils, especially that I use in the evening time, because I use frankincense when I'm meditating. Sometimes I have it in a roller bottle, but the ones that I use on a regular basis in the nighttime is sandalwood, and this actually causes a big higher vibration. It helps with relaxation. It also helps with blood pressure, and also it's an oil that helps with sleep as well. Because Leo in Aquarius, it rules like the blood circulation, it rules like the heart. Aquarius rules like the ankles. So, and also things are going to be very heightened because we are in Aquarius season. This is to do with our nervous system. It can really play up now, especially because we've come from the Aquarius new moon. Okay, so these two are entwined. And the last oil that I like is not the last oil, actually, sorry. Another oil that I use is, of course, lavender. It's really great for, helps with anxiety, depression. It also helps with having a great night's sleep. It helps with the positivity as well. And there's other two oils I love to use, especially if you've got a cold. You need if you've got like mucus in your chest and everything. I love using like eucalyptus. It really helps with, like I said, colds and flus. Helps open up the airwaves as well, as is with peppermint. And lemon, because lemon heals with and also these two oils together, lemon gives you like that energy and vitality, but these two oils together, it helps with like cold symptoms. It also reduces pain, and it also opens up the airways, because we can feel quite run down during the full moon. Any whether it's a full moon or a new moon, you just feel really run down, and you're thinking, I don't know what it is, why do I feel so tired? And other oils that I do tend to use when I am run down is lemon. I love to use lime, mandarin as well. These are very positive oils. It gives you that boost of energy that you need. You can use it in a roller bottle, or you can also use it diffusing it as well. So those are like my essential oils that I will be definitely using. I use it every day. I never forget to not use essential oils. So yes, that's it. So guys, that was the Leo full moon message with tarot and wellness. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And you can also let me know how this Leo full moon has gone for you by sending me a message on a voice message. Also, you can head over to Apple, because I also have this on Apple, and you can write comments. You can rate it as well. The more you rate my videos, the more it just gets seen, and it just helps with my creativity. So feel free to do that as well, guys. And also check out my Instagram, check out my YouTube, where I put up monthlies, I put up weeklies as well. I was going to do a lot of dailies, but it depends on what's going on. But for now, I put up monthlies, weeklies. I also put up the moons for the signs as well, the full moon, new moons, any like special planetaries. So check those out, and feel free to write comments as well. So guys, thank you very much for listening, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.